Bonjour, friends. I can't believe the Olympics are coming to a close, but I have some special guests from the Summer Games that I can't wait to share with you today. Before that, I'm sitting down with the founder of FindingJoy.net, Rachel Marie Martin, to learn how we can all get our spark back. Next, I got to speak with sisters and Olympic swimmers Alex Walsh and Gretchen Walsh before they went to Paris and started winning medals for Team USA. Then, I'm taking you to Paris for a first-hand look at what makes these Olympic Games so unique and why it was important for me to bring my kids along as well. Finally, even though tax-free weekend is behind us, I'm showing you how you can still save big on back-to-school shopping, even if you don't have kids. So allons-y à Paris et bienvenue to the Sami Cone Show.
From the News Channel 5 Network, this is the Sami Cone Show.
Sometimes you need to set an audacious goal, and I have just the woman to help us do exactly that. Rachel Marie Martin, welcome to the Sami Cone Show.
Thank you for having me.
I'm always happy to see you. I mean, you are known for spreading joy. FindingJoy.net is where your home is normally online, but you've written a new book called Get Your Spark Back. And you've done some pretty crazy things that we get to hear about, like running 1,000 miles.
I did run 1,000 miles. I did.
Let's just start right
actually
there.
did,
Let's
yes.
just start there, because I never knew you as a runner before hearing about that per se.
You know what's interesting is I never knew myself as a runner
until
all of a sudden I set this goal.
Yeah, and why running?
Well, my daughter joined the military, and when she joined, I wanted her ready for boot camp. So I was like, okay, I'm going to run, so you can run.
Wow.
And then I started running, and then my husband Dan, he's a runner, so then I'm like, okay. And I kind of started to find my own self in running. Like in the solidarity and the solitude, I was like, you know what? I'm trying to figure out who I am, and I uncovered my own soul again.
Yeah, so you set this goal to basically run from here in Tennessee to, was it your parents' house in Minnesota?
Yeah.
Which is almost 1,000 miles.
It was.
And then you just like, well, let's just go for 1,000?
Okay, so yeah, I know, like, you know, at a certain point, I'll just add a little more. No, so it was after COVID, or kind of in the midst of it.
Yeah.
And I needed to prove to myself I could get from my house here in Nashville to Minneapolis.
Incredible.
So I thought I'm gonna run. And it was 899 miles, and then about a couple months in, I was gloating because I was ahead of schedule. I made a chart, did all of it, and then it was my husband that said, why don't you just run 1,000? Like no big deal.
Yeah, just run 1,000.
But here's the cool thing, is I did the math, and it was like 0.3 of a mile more to hit the big goal. But if you look at it from outside, you're like, too big. But when you break it down, it was doable.
Okay, so let's talk to the woman, right, that's watching right now that's like, girl, I don't even know how I'm going to get through today, much less an audacious goal. I love how you said break it into pieces. Are there some other tips that you have that you could say to that? Because you've been through a lot in your life.
I have.
And there are times where that probably could have shut you down easily. You're mother to 7, we're a single mom for a long time, bonus mom to 4 more. So you've been there.
I've been there.
How do you pull yourself out of that?
You have to have the dream. You have to have that spark within you, and even if it's small, and then you just need to set those little things, those little goals. Every day, what's one thing I can do that fills my heart, that is impressive, that makes me feel good? And those small things, after 365 days of them, there's no way you're going to be in the same spot as where you started.
Yeah, and so, okay, let's kind of put away some of that negative talk for someone that says, I don't have the time, I'm a mom, I don't have the money. What are your answers to those?
Well, if you always put it off till someday, time will just keep going. And so you really need to make the someday today. And it's cultivating the time. It's deciding, I'm going to add my own dreams, my own heart, my own health to the schedule. You're the only one that can do it.
That's big.
Yeah.
That is, and is that, so when we talk about get your spark back, is that what we can find in this book?
Yes,
okay.
All the questions like, I don't have time, or what if I don't have money, or what if I'm too old?
Yeah.
As one approaching 50, that's kind of the question, and it's kind of it guides the reader through that journey of, okay, here's the question, here's how you do it, here's how you live a life alive.
Yeah, and I appreciate that so much about you, because I know sometimes we see a book, it's like, I don't have time to read a book. I mean, you have a letter that's been shared 50 million times, your quotes are shared millions of times on Facebook. How do you kind of boil things down into that one thing that I think, if I know you enough,
Right.
to know, it starts with me needing to hear it, it starts with you needing to hear it, but then it resonates. How have you found that to be true for so many women in particular?
Well, we as women, the number one thing I think we struggle with is feeling alone. I'm the only one that doesn't have her spark. I'm the only one that doesn't have her finances in order. And you boil it down with, you come together and you say, you know what, you're not alone. You're not alone. You can do this. And I'm going to hold your hand with it. I'm going to give you the example, because that community, that camaraderie, women together, it's powerful.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so if someone's watching today, what's one takeaway? What's one thing that you could encourage them so that they don't put off till tomorrow what can be done today? What would your advice be?
Well, if you have that phrase like, when this happens, then I'll do it, whatever that then is, make that your goal today. Because what'll happen is, when you take care of that then, everything that you were waiting for will come to fruition. You just have to make yourself and your spark, your life, a priority.
Okay, before I let you go, what's next?
What's
there's gotta be a next goal, right?
Yeah, no, I actually do have another goal. I want to run a marathon. I haven't done that yet, so I've been telling people that, and you know, that's a level of commitment beyond 1,000 miles. Different type of running.
I'm so glad you say that, because it is. Like, someone might say, well, what's 26.2 after I thought? You did the 1,000 miles over a period of time.
Right.
It wasn't.
Right, I didn't do it at once.
Didn't do it
And
at
that's the
once.
cool thing about goals. It takes time.
Yeah.
It was 3 miles here, 2 miles there, adds up.
I love it. Rachel, thank you so much for being with us. You can pick up Rachel's third book, Get Your Spark Back, wherever books are sold. Always a pleasure to have you, my friend.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for encouraging us. Before any of us headed over to Paris to watch Team USA in the Olympics, I got to talk with two sisters who made the U.S. Olympic swim team, Alex Walsh and Gretchen Walsh. Ladies, congratulations on making the team. I'm so excited for you to represent Team USA.
Thank you so much.
Well, as a parent, I have to ask, what have your parents said about having you both compete in the Olympics? Is it a double pleasure or double nervousness for them?
It's double pleasure. I know that they do get really, really nervous for us, but to have us all there and to have both of us competing, I think that that is their dream come true. Last time around, it was definitely hard having me at home and Alex there alone. They're really excited. They're gonna be nervous. They're always really nervous. They get the most nervous out of both of us. So I'm looking forward to their review of watching, because there's no stage like the Olympics. It's gonna be the most amazing crowd, I already know. And so just to have them a part of it in person is gonna be really special. And I'm excited to see what they have to say about it.
Even though the Olympics is the biggest and the most followed stage, trials is definitely the most emotional, because you know, you see people qualify for the Olympics, have their dreams come true, and then the people who get third place, they miss out on that opportunity, and it's heartbreaking. I think our parents were definitely nervous towards the end of trials. Gretchen had made the team in the second night, and I had to wait until the 7th day of Olympic trials to make the team. I think they were definitely getting nervous about that. So I hope that for them was the hardest part. I know for us that was probably the hardest part. I hope that Paris is more exciting and
More of a celebration
than of a nail biter.
Well, I'm so glad you brought that up, because the Olympics obviously is the pinnacle for any athlete, but it's interesting because it's every 4 years. So some people may miss out on their opportunity because they weren't at their peak in that Olympic trial period. Where do you all feel like you are in terms of being ready for the Olympic Games this year?
I personally feel like this could be my year. Like, this is my moment. I've been working really hard, and I've had a lot of disappointing summers in the past, and so this is one where I finally stepped out to the plate. I got a world record. I'm going to the Olympics. I feel like I really couldn't ask for anything more, and I definitely think I have more in me. I'm ready to swim my heart out for Team USA. We were both so determined to make this team, and you really have to be, because like you said, you only get this one shot once every 4 years. And so I definitely think that this was my time and my place. And as sad as I was that I didn't make it last time around, it just made this one that much sweeter. And I'm just happy that I did it.
Considering that this is my second Olympics, it's been interesting for me to be able to see the differences between these experiences. I hope that this will be a year for me that I pull something out of myself that I know is there. I've just been working to kind of put all the pieces together. I hope that this is kind of my rebound year after last year. Everyone has been putting their head down and working really hard. And now that I only have the 200 IM to focus on in Paris, I feel like I'm going to be able to set myself up to have a really good race. So I'm excited.
Well, as a former swimmer, I love that you're saying only the 200 IM. Like, that's not a hard thing to do. But I do understand when you get to focus on just one event that you can put all of your attention there. Well, I'm excited to be cheering you on in person. I'm going to be bringing my teenagers over there to watch, so hopefully you'll hear us yelling loud. But for everyone in Nashville that can't go, where would you all be watching if you weren't in Paris competing? Where would you go to cheer on Team USA?
I'm definitely hoping some people are watching down in Broadway, or maybe at like a sports bar. I feel like those are the most like rowdy places in Nashville. You know what would be so cool if, you know how they do the
Movies in the park.
movies in the park. I don't know if they would actually do that, but that would be pretty amazing if they were to put that on there.
I know in 2021, Harpeth Hall had a showing, so I hope that they also put something on our alma mater for all our honey bears to watch.
We would invite everyone to our house, but we won't be there.
I'm sure you're probably looking forward to eating some things in Paris, but are there any Nashville favorites you love to eat at?
My favorite is Baja Burrito. That's my go-to spot.
I've got one last question. As siblings, obviously you're not competing against each other, thank God, but do you ever get to offer each other some tips or critiques, or do you just leave that to the coaches? I mean, how do you interact as swimmers and not just sisters?
I don't want to be a swim coach, but I just think it's in my nature that I'm like very picky about things. Honestly, it's more like my parents might have something to say about Alex's race, but they'll tell me to tell her because they're like, it sounds better coming from you. And I'm like, okay, yeah, true. I feel like I trust her race plan for herself. So I feel like I don't really give you that many tips. But the thing is, we don't swim the same events. So like the other one is the pro. You know,
Yeah, like I would never tell Gretchen how to swim. I was afraid because she would look at me like I was crazy. You know, there are some things that Gretchen is really good at. She's really good at underwaters, and freestyle, like really good at kicking. And I recently have been asking her, do you keep your feet above the water? Like I've been asking her for tips on stuff like that I know she's really good at. I think it's great that we have such a talented team because it's easy to pace off each other. It's easy to look at the other one and think, oh, I should try to do that. I have tried to help Gretchen in her breaststroke, but honestly, it's a lost cause just because it's not going anywhere. So.
Thank you both for being part of the Sami Cone Show. Good luck and go Team USA. We're cheering you on.
Coming home with hardware.
Yeah, coming home with medals. Thank you.
Have you ever lived out a dream? I got to 30 years ago when I graduated from Emory University, got to work at the Atlanta Olympics, and turned 21 during the opening ceremonies. Well, fast forward to today, the Summer Olympics are in Paris, and I wanted to give my own kids their own Olympic memories. That's right, both of my kids recently graduated high school, and I thought what better time to make moments at this one-of-a-kind opportunity. So come with me as I take you to Paris to not only show you what makes these Olympic Games so special, but what it's like to have a once-in-a-lifetime trip. Welcome to the 33rd Olympic Games. I'm going to be taking you all around Paris, and I'm starting off right here at the iconic Stade Roland-Garros. That's right, it's the home of the French Open, but it's also where the tennis is being played this year's Olympic Games. It's even more special because my family is with me. Can't wait to go check it out. Coming to the Olympics in Paris is a dream for so many reasons, but most of all because the tennis is being played right here at Roland Garros. That's right, for tennis fans everywhere. Not only is this the home of one of the most iconic Grand Slams, but now it's home to the Olympic Games as well. Our world can feel pretty divided today, but sport has an incredible way of bringing us all together. As you can see by all the nations represented by the flags around me, this is where people come to not only cheer on their athletes, but athletes from all over the world. One of the incredible things Paris has done with this Olympic Games is that they're using stadiums and facilities that are either already in use or right part of the city. For example, you can see skateboarding at the Place de la Concorde. You've got tennis here at Roland Garros. Everything is right in the action of Paris. And so not only are you seeing these incredible athletes compete, you're getting to experience history being surrounded by these incredible monuments. One of the amazing things I've overheard from so many in attendance is that they don't really care what sport they see or who they're watching. They're just happy to be here. But the great thing about the Olympics is that there's always something incredible going on. For instance, we're getting to see Novak Djokovic play Stefanos Tsitsipas in the men's quarterfinals tonight. Iga Swiatek is on court right now. Normally you'd have to go to a Grand Slam to see caliber tennis like this, and we're getting it all here in one day. The Eiffel Tower is already one of the most iconic landmarks of Paris, but during this year's Olympic Games, it's even more so. Not only is everyone here in Paris to see this amazing architecture, but it's also home to beach volleyball, and you can see so many of the other venues from the top. This is a can't miss whether you're here for the Olympics or not. Over my shoulder, you'll see the Seine River. This was the first Olympics where the Olympians arrived to the opening ceremony by boat instead of marching in a stadium. One of my favorite ways to see some of the most iconic sights of Paris is to take one of the boat rides on the Seine, the Bateau Mouche, Bateau Parisien. It doesn't really matter, just make sure you get on the top level so you can have 360 view pictures as you go by. I've mentioned how the Olympics are taking place all over the city. Right over my shoulder, they're doing medal ceremonies at the Place de Trocadero. We just saw cyclists ride by for the triathlon. So literally anywhere you go, you're going to get to experience the Olympics. I got to meet up with one of my longtime friends, Dusty, at one of the hospitality areas here in Paris, Clubhouse 24. It's actually set up in a museum, and it offers a bit of an Olympic museum. We got to see the posters from past Olympics, how the athletes sleep, and also what they do in the athletes' village during their downtime. We even got temporary tattoos. There's also a bunch of different restaurants you can choose to eat at. So even when you're not sitting and enjoying the games, there's so much to do outside of the actual events. One of the unique things about the Olympic Village is that all of the athletes' beds are actually made out of cardboard, but then they get customizable mattresses. So they have the choice of moderate all the way to soft. And what's really interesting is that this is all sustainable. So these are all going to be used after the Olympics are over. I know we came here for the Olympics, but how could a Disney-loving family come to France and not plan a day at Disneyland Paris? That's exactly what we did, and it was so easy. It's only about an hour east of the city, and we took the train. It dropped us off literally at the entrance of the park. Now there's two parks, Disneyland Park, and you also have the Walt Disney Studios, and it's very walkable. In fact, we did both parks in one day. Now, what stood out to us? A few things. The weather is incomparable. Here we are in August. People are in sweaters. It's very temperate. It's been beautiful. Of course, we're in France, so the food is excellent. There's a ton of choices and everything has been delicious. We've also really enjoyed the rides, incredible roller coasters, and you'll see some things that are the same from park to park, like at Walt Disney World or at Disneyland in California. But the theming is really unique, and we've noticed a mix of both French and English. So I would definitely plan a day. Come out. You're going to find great souvenirs, fun pin trading, and of course, everything that a Mickey lover could ask for. It's been an incredible time here in Paris, from the Olympic competition to the incredible sights, and of course, the food. It's been a dream trip, especially because I've been able to do it with my kids. You know, part of me is like, did we do enough? Did we see it all? Of course, there's not enough time to do everything, but I just thought I'd embrace the iconic paraphrase, c'est la vie, such is life. In Paris, we will return. Au revoir. Even though tax-free weekend has passed us here in Nashville, you may be surprised to learn that there could be even better savings ahead. Don't worry, I've got you. Even if you don't have kids that are going back to school, I'm going to give you some of my favorite tips for saving big this time of year. Let's start over with the school supplies, right? I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that. I want you to start looking in places you might not think to look. So we're talking everywhere from drugstores and grocery stores to, of course, your office supply stores. Now, you'll notice some things here that I bet you're using every day, right? Like copy paper or pens. Those are things that you can buy now that are going to be at their cheapest throughout the next 12 months, and you can keep those in your home. So don't just think back to school season. Even things like locks, colored pencils, glue sticks, right? White erase boards. These are great just to have in your laundry room. So this is a time of year to stock up on things that you need for your home office, even if you don't have a back to school student. Now, speaking of back to school, you still can stack savings on top of sales. So what I mean by that, you'll see this CVS coupon I have down here. if CVS has a coupon and a sale and you have that extra cash back, you can do that. Same thing with some of your grocery stores that are going to have sales like buy one, get one. Remember, all of these things that you see here, like the pens, the colored pencils, those were buy one, get one free at Publix. You don't have to buy two. You can buy one and get it for half off. So keep those savings basics in mind. You're also going to want to think of things that aren't traditional school supplies, like your cleaning supplies. Now, these are really necessary for the classroom, but they're also necessary for your home. So if you see these on sale, go ahead and grab them. Now, the other tip is that you don't always have to buy everything for the school year right now. Talk to your teachers. They may let you space out when you send in the supplies. For example, they need things throughout the year. You don't have to send all the Kleenex boxes or all the Ziploc bags in August. That's going to help you plan for your budget if you say, hey, can we send in our allotment in November, in January for the second term? That way they are not storing it, you're spacing it out. Now, let's not forget our back to college students. As someone that has now 2 kids in college, they're going to need the basics too. Everything from peanut butter and tea bags to dryer sheets and laundry detergent. So think of getting those now, send them to school with your kids, make kind of a home essentials care package for them, and then also keep some for yourself. And you can always replenish those things when they come back for fall break, when you go for parents' weekend, any of those times. Now you're thinking, Sammy, they're not going to want that. Trust me, once they get to school and they learn they have to spend their own money on certain things, this is going to be a great gift for them. So this is always good to have for when you see those sales. And again, you can go somewhere like a Dollar Tree to supplement on things you're not finding on sale, but it's good to have on hand. Okay, finally, I want to make sure that you do 2 other things. You're going to shop during the week. A lot of us are conditioned to shop on the weekend. We think the biggest sales, but Macy's just had their one-day sale midweek. Foot Locker, other places are having huge sales that sometimes end on a Thursday. So don't wait until the end of the week and then shop online, because not only are you going to save gas money, you can use cashback sites like Rakuten to get extra cash back on top of what you're already buying. Again, use those sales, look for those online coupons, and then get some of those bigger ticket items that way. Speaking of bigger ticket items, this is a great time of year to shop for electronics. Everything from the necessary electronics like your computers, your iPads, headphones, AirPods, all of those things. They're on sale, or for instance, somewhere like Apple not only has discounts on the products this time of year, you can get a gift card to use on a future purchase. So be thinking about Christmas, things that you want to buy for people that aren't in school. You can take those gift cards and save them for later. So we're using those back to school savings. We're not necessarily buying everything for back to school. This is just a sample of all the solutions I have. You're going to find a full list and a full explanation on SamiCone.com. I'm always here to help you save money, live better on less, and I am just so thankful that all of you joined me for my show today. It was such a treat getting to take you with me and my kids to the Olympics, to welcome my guests on, and I hope to see you back here next month. Don't forget, have a great day. Make sure you make it great, and do not wait to tell someone you love how you feel about them. Bye, friends.